Did you guys have it? So did you guys have a good trip?
Yeah. Branson was fun.
I got it.
Did Branson have any spooky monsters?
Yes.
What did you guys see on your trip? Who'd you get a picture with?
We saw like a Bigfoot thing. And it was like...
And?
It was tall.
Didn't you see aliens too?
Yeah,
you saw aliens, Bigfoot, all sorts of crazy stuff.
We went into a ball pit that was supposed to be alien eggs.
Bro, it was so deep. I actually sank in it. I was like this. I was like this, and then I was like, wait, I'm sinking. Help!
It was so hard to move.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
If Dad was in there, actually, he would not be able to get out.
Probably not. Mold, tubby, round, rotund, chubby chubbikins. Chubster.
We also went on a roller coaster that played animal sounds.
If you were a cat, that would. I like chubby cats.
Stop interrupting me! Stop interrupting me!
I like chubby cats. They're super fluffy.
Here's a very important question. Very important question.
What?
Knock, knock.
Where's the warrant?
Where's the warrant?
All right, welcome to the Campfire Compendium. I am, as always, your host, Dad, joined by my lovely spawn, my progeny, the fruit of my efforts, and only my efforts, nobody else's efforts.
Bombastic sight.
my koala daughter, Leela.
Killer koala.
And my snuggy mermaid daughter, Nora.
With pom-pom purrin.
Purrin.
I said purrin.
All right, so it's been a couple of weeks. We had a vacay, and then Dad had the flu, and now we're back.
Yay!
We are as normal as ever.
No, we're not.
Nothing exciting.
Yes,
today we're going to talk about something you guys
I have something not exciting. I got hurt a bajillion times at school.
Who's beating you up?
IDC. Myself. I am getting hurt by everything, anywhere, anytime. Have mercy for me, please.
We'll talk about. I'll tell you about the book Fight Club off stream, off pod.
Yeah.
Off recording.
Yeah, that. All right, so tonight we are going to talk about something you guys do not know about. I've never talked about this one. It's a bit out of left field.
Tell us the name already.
It is the Beast of Bray Road.
I've heard of it.
How have you... Okay, so what's the Beast of Bray Road then?
A beast that's on a road that always dances.
I am glad that you have definitely heard about this and you are not being a smart
That's not what it
pants.
is. I bet. That's not what it is.
No.
No.
All right, ready?
Yes.
So nestled in the dairy farm and cornfield-dotted prairie of Walworth County, Wisconsin, is the rural town of Elkhorn. Elkhorn is a picturesque town known for hosting the Walworth County Fair and for being what's known as a Christmas card town because of its festive decorations in and around downtown.
Because at night, at Christmas, the thing they hear, they hear every second. Even when Santa's not at their house, they hear this ho 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 just a bajillion times.
Ho ho ho.
I do not know what just happened.
Same.
Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
Anyway. No, you know those you look at a picture of Christmas, this is what Christmas looks like. That's what the town of Elkhorn looks like. It looks like a fantasy land at Christmas time.
Oh wait, it looks like.
Is it because it's?
Where's the place? Where's the place? Is it like Newville?
What are you talking about?
Like in the Grinch. Like what's the place?
Whoville.
Whoville, yeah. I guess that place should be called Whoville at Christmas.
Wait.
They don't have roast beast.
But also,
well, they should.
They should because of the Beast of Bray Road, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey.
They should, is it cold up there? So the snow's like there's lots of snow.
It's Wisconsin. It's very cold.
Okay.
It is freakishly cold.
Yay.
Anywho, chicken poos. So Elkhorn is known for being a Christmas car town because of how festive it is during the holiday season. But for our purposes, Elkhorn is also famous for a 17-mile stretch of thoroughfare named Bray Road. Okay? Also, once known as King's Highway, Bray Road dates all the way back to colonial times. Do you know when that was?
Nope.
It's 1700s?
Yeah. Yes. There you go. Yeah, good job. Whenever they talk about colonial times, there's Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia, where it's like an old colonial town you can go and visit, and they dress up like people from back then, and here's how I made horseshoe salad. I don't know what they ate. I have no idea. But
they ate canned stuff.
But yeah, so this road dates all the way back to the time before cars and all that stuff, right? All right. In 1936, Mark Shackleman was working as a night watchman at the St. Coletta school for exceptional children. St. Coletta still operates this day, though the complex of buildings at that time have been long abandoned since 2009. So 15 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still up there. They exist. There's a whole thing where they're going to be doing like development up there, but that's a whole different story, like boring adult talk about making new apartments in a mall. The school itself was a Catholic school specializing in the medical care, housing, and education of children with mental disabilities. It helped to bring awareness, expand the understanding of, and change the views of mental illness on a national level. The school occupied the area of the old Franciscan convent with several old buildings, an orchard, and open fields where several Native American burial grounds had been preserved.
So like a graveyard almost?
Yeah, whenever you look at native burial mounds, that's where they would, bury people. So instead of
like a graveyard.
Exactly. And, they would have, artifacts. Sometimes I think what might have been burial grounds or burial mounds were also just ceremonial mounds.
Yeah.
So they didn't bury people there, but they might have harvest ceremonies, maybe weddings, maybe even funerals on the mounds, but they just needed to have somewhere that was elevated. As the story goes, Shackleman was walking through the fields near the school around midnight when he spotted a creature atop one of the burial mounds. The creature appeared to be clawing at the ground. Shackleman approached for a better look, but it turned violently and fled into the forest. Okay? Later that morning, Shackleman told his wife about what he had seen and how he observed raking marks in the dirt on top of the mound where the creature had been. At this time, it was an operating school/hospital, right? So his job was to be a security guard. So that night, he saw this creature, it ran away, and the next morning he goes home to his wife and says, hey, I saw this thing on top of this mound. It was clawing. I tried to get a better look. It ran away, and when I went to the top of the hill, there were marks in the ground. As day turned to dusk and dusk turned to night, Shackleman returned to the mound and encountered the creature a second time. However, this time, as he approached the creature, it didn't run away. Staring back at Shackleman stood a creature on two legs. He estimated it was about 7 feet tall and covered in dark black hair. It appeared wolf or dog-like and had a bad, bad odor. An odor that Shackleman described as smelling like long dead meat. The creature, as Shackleman made eye contact, and it let out a kind of mean growl that sounded like doing some death metal tonight. Yeah. Frozen in fear, Shackleman watched as the creature slowly turned and walked away. He never saw it again, and it wouldn't be seen for another 50 years.
Wow, he just ruined a chance for everyone else to see it. That's crazy.
Well, he didn't ruin the chance, just that it wasn't seen for 50 years.
Oh.
Right.
Well, if that happens once, maybe it'll happen multiple times.
Bro,
Well-
all the skunks are jealous of him.
Why are the skunks jealous? Because he smells bad?
No,
I mean,
actually, yes.
the smell of rotting meat, it's called carrion. That's what rotting meat is.
Mhm.
Which is like, I mean,
What's this
deer
thing
are
called?
going to die naturally, right? Squirrels are going to die naturally.
Wait, what's this thing called again?
The Beast of Bray Road.
Okay, why did the school cross the Bray Road
Why?
to get rid to run? To
You wanna
to avoid the beast.
You want to workshop this and come back to it?
Yes. Lol. Lamau.
All right, I'm actually going to read from one of my sources, allthingsinteresting.com. And this piece was written by Austin Harvey, kind of tells some of the other sightings through the 80s and 90s. Okay?
Okay.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, sightings of the Bray Road Beast rose in prominence. Though mostly seen around Elkhorn, locals also reported sightings of the beast as far as Walworth, Racine, and Jefferson County. The first of these recent encounters with the so-called Wisconsin werewolf occurred in the fall of 1989, around 1:30 a.m. Lori Drizzy was driving home along Bray Road from a lounge in Elkhorn called the Jury Room, where she worked as a manager. There, off to the side, she saw a massive creature. Its back turned to her, but as she continued along the road, she glanced back and caught it from the front. It was kneeling, she said. Its elbows were up and its claws were facing out, so I knew it had claws. I remember the long claws. She said it seemed to be holding something between those long claws. Roadkill, perhaps? But unlike many animals which would turn and run when headlights were aimed at them, this creature instead turned and stared at her. Terrified, Drizzy drove home. So, like, the lights hit it, it just kind of looked back at her. Right?
Like,
It was like,
why are you shining the brights at me? I hate
it
them.
was like this. What you doing?
The next morning, she ventured to the local library to dig through the catalogs and find something that might explain what she saw. What she found was an entry in the Golden Book of the Mysterious, published in 1976, featuring an illustration labeled Werewolf. It was night, and it was quite late, but I know what I saw, Drizzy said. You don't mistake something like that. To this day, I believe it was satanic. It was just my feeling. I don't believe in werewolves per se, but I believe something could be well conjured up. 2 years later, another local named Doris Gibson claimed to have seen the beast. It was Halloween night, 1991. Gibson was driving along the road through the fog when she hit something and felt her front tire lift off the ground. After driving another 50 feet, she stopped the car and got out to assess the damage to her car and to whatever she might have hit. There was nothing on the road behind her. As she made her way around the back of the car, it came running out of the woods. Here comes this thing, and it's just running up at me, she said. It was no dog. It was bigger than me. I've never seen a human run like that, and my uncle was a track star. Gibson quickly got back in her car and slammed her foot on the gas. At that same moment, the creature caught up to the car and landed on the trunk, only sliding off because she had become slick in the rain. Gibson said she felt she had been dinner had the beast caught her, but she managed to escape. Except later that night, she saw it again. She picked up a friend from a party, and on the way home, that friend pointed out the window and screamed, "Look at that thing!" Gibson wasted no time in speeding away, and when she got home, she noticed claw marks on the back of her blue Plymouth Sundance. Gibson later described the creature as a freak of nature, one of God's mistakes. Dun, dun, dun.
R.I.P.
All right.
Literally, if I saw that, I would be like, police, I don't care if I'm breaking speed limit.
The police are not gonna do none about that.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like if the police saw that, they would even go past the speed limit. They're like, I don't care what you say, boss. And then imagine if it just like glides on if it wasn't raining. I'd be like,
So, for the majority of people, the Beast of Bray Road is a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
They think that's what it is, what's out there. However, some cryptozoologists, who are people that go out looking for new species of animals that are mythical, believe it to be a species of Bigfoot. So, like a cousin. While others believe it to be a skinwalker due to the proximity of the indigenous burial mounds.
Bigfoot's second cousin.
And even more, some believe it to be a simple dog man, right? Which is somehow like a werewolf, but not at all at the same time. All right?
Okay.
So for the sake of sanity, let's kind of do a quick rundown of these things. So a werewolf is a person that's cursed somehow, that during a full moon will turn into a half man, half wolf, walking on two legs beast, right? Well, anyway, so for sake of saying, we'll break them down. A werewolf is when a person transformed to a half human, half wolf, like during a full moon.
Like this.
Cursed by a witch, poison, something, right?
Okay, so pretend that lights the full moon and just pretend it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, and like their clothes rip off and all that stuff, and like, but then there's a dogman, and a dogman is a bipedal creature, kind of like a werewolf, except it's always dog wolf like.
It's like, and if it sees a stick, someone throws a
right,
just
and
throws
so
a stick, they're like,
well, and the dogman is a big thing in kind of Michigan. We'll talk about the dogman for sure, but because the dogman and Bigfoot are kind of. There's some lore out there where like Bigfoot protects humans from dogmen, like dogmen are bad guys and Bigfoots are good guys. The dogman is a lot like a Bigfoot, only with a dog face.
The only thing Bigfoot does is like crouch and like just does this. What? And also like when how anime werewolves transform to a werewolf.
Okay. Hey, by the way, hey, this is still an audio medium. People can't see you.
I know, but you can.
All right, and the Skinwalker. So, Skinwalker, not to be confused with the Wendigo. They're different, sometimes the same, depending on who you talk to. But to make it it's easy, kind of go to the base of it. The Skinwalker is an indigenous witch, shaman, or a spirit that takes the form of like an animal. So it can be a person that turns into a dog, right? Or somewhere in between.
So it's technically Beast Boy.
Yeah, kind of, but it's through music or through magic.
But instead, it's not green too.
Exactly. Well, and also like this, it being a Skinwalker doesn't make sense because the Skinwalker is a Navajo tradition. And the Navajo are from like the Arizona area, not from the Wisconsin area. So it's kind of geographically not the same. I'm not saying that native peoples didn't have overlap of traditions, but...
Wait, all the people that were saying that, they just thought bro moved. They were like, he's like, I don't like it here. I'm moving.
Well, and then lastly is the Bigfoot, right? The only thing that really has in common with Bigfoot is the bad smell. Because Bigfoot smells bad, right?
He smelled really bad.
Right, because it's like a sweaty, wet dog smell with trash.
Dog droppings.
Right. So that's kind of what people think it could be from the mythological side of things, right? But that's not what we do here, right? We take all the fun out of everything. At least I take the fun out of everything. However, if the beast isn't any of the above, what could it be? Skeptics believe the beast could be a misidentification, right? Mm-hmm. Of large feral or stray dogs. It could be a very rare wolf sighting because there are wolves sort of kind of in the area, but not a lot. Or it could be a black bear or maybe even a black bear with mange. Okay?
What's mange?
Mange is a disease where mites, little insects, burrow into the hair and skin of animals. And it actually causes like sores, rashes, a lot of pain, a lot of sickness, and actually can make their hair fall out. Okay? Now, this is actually important to know about mange and the black bear thing. Remember when we talked about Bigfoot, Bigfoot sightings could very well be black bears, right?
Yeah.
Because of the populations. I'm going to show you 3 pictures. 2 of them are black bears with mange. 1 is of a black bear just standing up. Okay? So the black bears with mange, you see how their hair's kind of falling out? How they look totally not like a black bear?
Okay, but
They look more person-like. They look more dog-like because their noses are long.
I can see how they could misidentify,
my
but
God.
also they said it was like 7 feet tall.
oh my
Okay.
God, that is so creepy.
How tall is that shelf right there?
About 5 foot.
How tall am I?
5 foot 11.
Okay, I'm 5'11", and that shelf is taller than me. And you think it's 5 foot?
6'3".
So that's your guess.
Yeah.
But you don't know for sure.
That's actually.
So do you think somebody driving 40 miles an hour or faster down a road in the country at night when it's dark, not knowing the distance, can tell how big something is?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
The whole point is when you just looked at that shelf, you threw a random number out.
Yeah.
When I reminded you how tall I was, you narrowed down your guess to something that made more sense because I was a reference point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm just about 5'11", 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, well, that's maybe 3 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches taller than Dad. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's dark, where your only reference is blackness,
Yeah.
you think you might guess something is actually bigger than it really is?
Yeah.
The same deal, Bigfoot and the bears, right? If
How
you see
tall
that,
are black bears?
good question. So a standing black bear can stand as tall as me.
5'11"?
About 6 feet tall, a little over, 6.5, maybe 7 feet. See what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
So a standing black bear gets to be 6 foot, 6.5, 7 feet real quick. Grizzly bears stand like 9 feet. They stand even taller.
Is creepy.
Does the bears with mange blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I see how it's like.
with that, you know, kind of talking about, we brought Bigfoot back into it, touched a little bit on the dog man. We'll talk about more later. What do you think? Because the thing about werewolf stories, because you're going to see werewolf stories in movies, in books,
Yeah.
and there's like always, it's the prince, and when it turns full moon, he has to flee from the castle, you know, because he'll turn into a beast at night, you know. So could it be something that's a curse of a werewolf tied to the indigenous burial grounds there? Could it be another form of Bigfoot? Could it be a dog man? Could it just be a stray dog? Could it be a black bear? Maybe a black bear with mange? What do you think? Or do you have questions?
Okay, here's the thing. The first guy never said the moon was full. He never said that. So you don't know. So it probably isn't a werewolf.
So in werewolf lore, I brought in the full moon, right? Full moon is like base werewolf lore. Some people think that during the stages of a full moon,
During midnight?
like from when the full moon starts to the new moon, which is whenever the moon is blacked out, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That people could turn in every night. Like there's werewolf stuff where it's the night of the solstice, right? And for the full moon leading up to the solstice of spring.
How about a solar eclipse?
Yeah, like or solar, yeah. There will always be, when there's stories like this, when there's mythologies like this, there's always going to be some footnotes depending on where the story came from. Because human beings turning into beasts, right? Is a story that is all over the world again, right? There's always going to be independently, like before, way back before cars, planes, all of that, before these people talked to one another, they kind of independently made up a lot of the same stories.
So, like,
Because what's scarier than your buddy, your family member turning into a monster, right? Turning into a half-human version of the predator that you live with that you're afraid of. So like in India, it might be like a tiger man because they have tigers in part of India.
Snake Man.
Yeah, a snake person.
Diamondback rattlesnake man.
I'm I'm scared of chickens.
You are a chicken.
So, what am I?
We're going to do one more picture
Help
to
me.
blow your mind.
Okay.
My mind is already like a half brain. I don't need to have like no minds now though. But whatever.
You already have no brain.
So there is
my brain's
there's a disease, right?
Yeah.
It's called hypertrichosis.
What?
Hypertrichosis. And it is where people grow body hair, like all over. And basically, during the times of sideshows, sideshows were things at circuses that exploited people. Just we'll call it for what it is. This podcast is all about calling it for what it is. But these people were werewolves. You ready to see them?
Yeah.
Because these people,
Whoa.
what?
I've seen like a guy that has like fur all over his body. It was like, yeah, I've seen a guy like that.
Well, yeah, and so that's called
They probably just never
hypertrichosis,
shaved.
I
right?
can't say that.
Hypertrichosis.
Hypertrichosis.
Anywho, chicken poos. Most important part, what do you think? Is there a werewolf? Is there a dogman? Is there a Bigfoot? Is it a real wolf? A stray dog? A bear with mange? Is it somebody playing tricks? There was a 50-year gap between sightings, right?
Imagine if it.
Bears can last for like 50 years.
Well, there's also a revolving population of bears. They have more. Bears make more bears.
Wait, it's one of the 4 guys.
It's one of the 4 guys.
Bro dumped his friends, so he's like, you guys suck.
Who are the 4 guys?
Remember from the Bigfoot episode?
Oh, it's one of the 4 guys who dress up.
Yeah.
The Silverton guys that dress up like Bigfoot to scare tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? Is it a bear? Is it a werewolf?
A bear or
Is
a
it
bear
a
with mange?
Bigfoot wolf?
A bear or a bear with mange?
So you're going with bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, see those pictures really kind of like, okay, this is what Dad's talking about. Because now if you look at that standing black bear,
Yeah.
now imagine seeing that through a bunch of leaves in the forest. Would you think that's a Bigfoot?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like how you could
If I saw that-
misidentify those things.
If I saw that charging at me and then imagine if you saw it T-posing and then charging at you, it was like,
Well,
I'm like,
Oh no!
a bear T-posing to assert dominance.
yeah, it's like,
Oh my gosh. Oh,
wow.
that's rabid.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.